Welcome to Pathway 254, where last time we had some good time to review on what is career with Stephen Maranga. And today again on episode 2, we are here again asking ourselves, how do I choose a good career? How do I really know that this is my pathway? Now, in this episode today, you're going to get all those questions answered, because in the one that we exist today, it is good and always of merit for one to be informed.
So welcome back to our second episode of Pathway 254. Today we are focusing on now how to choose the right career. Last episode we introduced what are careers, why it is important to plan, and today we are focusing on how to choose the right career. And in that focus, we are going to answer 7 questions you must answer before choosing a career. So the first question you should ask yourself before settling on any career is, what am I naturally good at? There are those things that you can do until you forget the passage of time. There are those people, when they are talking like I'm talking to you right now, you forget even about the concept of time. You can talk and talk and talk the whole day. There are those people that play football so well that when you are in that football field, you even forget that you are supposed to go and look for something else. There are those people that can teach so well. When you are given an assignment by a teacher maybe to present, you can present until you even forget your fears, you forget everything, you're just there. So that is number one. There are things you are naturally good at, and there are people who compliment you and tell you, hey, by the way, this one it seems you are talented. You can be a very good public speaker. You can be a very good designer. You can be a very good, you draw some pictures and you find out that people compliment you and they tell you can be a very good artist. That is the first question. What am I naturally good at? Number 2, what kind of life do I want? Do I want a 9 to 5? Do I want a structured schedule? Do I want to do my work when I'm ready to? Do I want a flexible schedule? Do I want to travel a lot, a life that involves a lot of traveling? That is the second question. What kind of life do you want? If I want to travel a lot, I can choose to be a tour guide. I can choose to be a travel blogger. I can choose a whole range of careers that involve traveling a lot. Even driving, being a driver, is also a career for someone who enjoys traveling a lot. The third question, what problems do I enjoy solving? Myself, I enjoy solving branding problems for companies. You, what problem do you enjoy solving? There are those people who enjoy solving problems of maybe tech. There are people that since you are a little child or a small boy or a small girl, you've always been trying to open the radio to see if there's somebody inside. Your parents have always been on your neck because you keep on spoiling the radios and the TVs. You want to see the people inside. Those are some of the cues that will tell you really the problems you enjoy solving in other people's lives. The next question is, what sacrifices am I willing to make? You know, in a 9 to 5 setup, you will make the sacrifice of autonomy over your schedule. Somebody else or something else controls your schedule entirely, not yourself. There are careers like in the field of medicine. You are required sometimes to have a night shift. You are in a weekend shift. Is this a sacrifice you are willing to make? Are you willing to sacrifice your time? Another sacrifice that maybe is very important that I cannot be able to overlook is the sacrifice of studying for the same career. Some careers will put you in university for 7 years, while some others you study for 3 years, 2 years in college. Some others you study like videography, photography, you study for 3 months, 2 months, 6 months if you want the official, the formal certification and all that. So that is the part of the sacrifices that you have to make in order to reach that goal. The next question is this: do I see myself doing this for many years? We know of people who have been journalists, for example, for over 20 years and they are still going. But you there, you can do that thing for maximum of 5 years. You already burned out, you already bored. You joined it because of money. But now that the money is no longer a problem, the second problem comes in. It was not your thing. You are already bored. You already want to quit. So that is another thing. Can I see myself doing this thing for many years? There are some careers that are also time bound, but if you utilize them well, you can do them forever. For example, in the sports industry, which is now employing so many people, so many young people to say, you can play the game for a maximum of up to 40 years, let's say. But from there on, what else do you plan to do? Do you see yourself becoming a coach? Do you see yourself becoming an analyst? How do you scale this past a certain duration? So that is the next question you should ask yourself concerning the career or the choice of a career to take. The next question you should ask yourself is, can this skill create more opportunities beyond formal employment? As you know and I know, and as we always hear, the employment market is right now flooded with graduates from all over, and there are not that many jobs. Some of us will get a job immediately, some of us will get some time, some of us may never get that job. So can this career create opportunities for me beyond formal employment? If you want to be a teacher, how else can you do this teaching apart from being employed? If you want to be a nurse, if you want to be a medical practitioner, how else can you utilize this to make income for yourself and to sustain yourself, and as a career to take yourself miles ahead in the unfortunate event that you don't get a formal employment early enough? Will you go back to the village and get frustrated and end up discouraging the other people there in the village who are planning to get the same career, who have a passion for the same thing as you? Or do you have other ways to scale this thing, to monetize this thing, to get income from there, to get a living from there, and to grow yourself beyond formal employment? The seventh question you should ask yourself, or you should answer before choosing a career, is, does this career fit my personality? As we talked about in the last episode, in our first episode, there are the people who are introverts, they are extroverts. We have people who are social, we have people who want to keep for themselves. We have so many personality types. We will have another episode for personality types where we will discuss in details. We have cholerics, we have sanguines, and all that. So does this career fit what I like doing? There are people who like locking in for many hours undisturbed, building something. And the personality type will determine your fit in that career which you want to choose. You don't want a career where you just do it in 5 years' time and then get bored and get burned out. And I'd like to question maybe my viewer, wherever you are, not to confuse a career with a job. Because I know some of you may not want to be employed for the rest of your life, but a career is not a job. A career defines your life. In the Bible, we are told about the purpose, your purpose in this world. Your purpose is almost the same as your career. It is what you are here to do, really, the legacy that you live in this world. So, considering whether your career fits your personality, you have to look at yourself in the long term. How long can you sustain this thing? How long can you do this thing without feeling like you're in the wrong place? Yes, I know the economic reality determines that we do whatever is available for the money, but while you do that, if it aligns with your career, continue building it until a point where it becomes your career. So, lastly, an example, I was watching today Jeff Koinange's interview with Collins Injera, and at some point he was saying that during his high school years, he wanted to play football. So while queuing for the football selections in high school, the queue was too long and he got bored. He wanted to go back to the dorm and sleep. But on the way, he saw some boys throwing around an oval ball, and that is how he ended up joining the rugby team, and right now building the legacy that he has built today. That is one simple example of a career that has been built from scratch until it got to somewhere. And he was even talking about missing the game and wanting to go back now. Of course, due to maybe age and retirement and all that, he may not go as a player, but also as a coach, as an analyst. So that is what we are saying, that in any career, you should be able to look at yourself in the future. And what next after this? I'm joining this industry or this field. I want to be a great photographer. What next? I want to be an event photographer. I want to do this. I want to do that. What next? Will I be able to document my journey in the next 10 years, 20 years? So as you choose your career, how are you able to adapt to the changing times? Because one thing we are sure and one thing we are told is guaranteed is change. Everything else can be there, but change is the only constant, and it is the one that moves everything else. So as things change, how will my career be able to adapt to these new changes? In 2020, for example, people had built long careers in companies, had invested years and years in physical setups, but any company that in 2020 didn't have the know-how or at least the idea to go online, they really suffered in 2020 because their employees, their staff wouldn't come to work. They wouldn't do anything. So as you choose your career, look at it in the long term and their kind of adaptability, because we are in a fast evolving world. That has been my message today. See you on the next one. Thank you.
Now you know, Pathway 254, this is the place to be. Continue following us on our socials to get to learn more about this and to get to understand the pathways in the era of CBC. Don't forget one thing, be creative, be innovative, and always remember to be experienced.